everybody, welcome back. Last video I had pulled the blown h22 out of the wagon, and I finally came to a decision on what I'm going to do to get the car back up on the road as quick as possible and as cheap as possible. What I'm going to end up doing is I've decided I'm going to take the h22 that was in the wrecked coupe, and I'm just going to be swapping all the timing components and everything over from the one motor over to this motor. It's going to require the least amount of money and work for me to get that thing back up and going and assembled and put back into the wagon. So all I need to do is run out, go grab a intake manifold gasket, valve cover gasket. I need to see what all seals that I still need to go out and get for this thing, and then we'll get to swapping all the timing components over, the intake manifold, and getting this thing ready to go back into the wagon, hopefully at least in the next day or two. Alright, check this out, guys. This is something I kind of wanted to show you real quick before I start really tearing everything apart. There's this motor here that I've got is running the h23 manual tensioner setup on it, and you can see that right now at this point the tensioner is maxed all the way open, but our timing belt still is on there pretty with some pretty decent tension. And this belt is also slightly worn because it's got about like 20,000 miles on it. So when you do these kind of tensioner swaps, when you have a new belt, this belt ends up being extremely tight. But alright, so I've got both engines side by side. Got the one from the wagon and the one from my coupe. I've already got everything stripped down off of the wagon's engine, and almost everything over there is already ready cleaned and ready to go. I double checked all my gaskets on this engine. All my seals I had just formally replaced right before the car accident, so those are all still good, front seal and rear seal. So right now, I'm sure you guys don't really need, a walkthrough video on putting the intake and a few of these things together. So what I'm going to do here real quick is I'm just going to get my water pump bolted on and get my camshafts put back in, get everything ready, put the new camshaft seals in, get everything ready for the timing so that I can show you guys a better walkthrough of actually doing the timing belt on these H-series engines. And I'll also get the tranny removed from the wagon's engine, and I'll swap the clutch and flywheel and everything over from this one to this one. If you guys need a walkthrough on doing that, I believe that the parts guy has a video that he's already done on getting a transmission put up onto these engines, so I'll leave a link in the description to his video for that. But I believe Dan has one, so I'll leave a link in the description when I find it. And I'm just going to get the intake bolted on, get the water pump put back on, get everything ready for the timing to be put back together. And then I'll show you guys doing all the timing on these things, and we'll be one step closer to putting the engine back into the wagon. Alright guys, now we're ready to do the timing belt. Down here on the crank, on our timing sprocket, we've got a dot that lines up with our key for our top dead center mark. I made a mark right here so I could actually see the alignment mark that I need to line up with. Down top on the bottom, all my cam sprockets have the little hash marks lined up all with each other, with the cam arrows pointed up for top dead center. For the H23 tensioner, we've got all our little doodads all in place, along with the large washer and the main stud. Now I can put on the tensioners, get it locked in the full open position, and we'll try to sneak this belt up on there. Well, it was a fight, like I was telling you guys, but we got it on there. All our marks are still lined up at the top. We're still lined up down here at the bottom. Now we're done with the timing belt. I can now move on to assembling everything for the balancer belt. And then we can do all the belt tensions. Move on to doing the valve adjustments, getting the valve cover back on, and wire harness, and getting this thing ready to go back in. Now we're ready to do our balancer belt. Got our front balancer lined up. We have the notch on the top lined up with this marker. This notch on the pulley lines up with that notch on our pump. And for the rear balancer, it does have a few marks, but you can never ever really go off of those marks. So on the back side of the engine, there is a 12mm plug that you pop out, and you can use a number 2 screwdriver that you'll stick into the hole and just spin your balance shaft until you find the little locking hole and lock it into position with that screwdriver. Then you can put your belt on, take your screwdriver out, and then do all the tension on your belts. So check out the valve cover that I've got going back onto the motor now, into the wagon. I'd be a little bit more excited about this valve cover, but a lot of my paint got screwed up in the engine bay, and because I've been in a rush and just pretty careless, I've also scraped and scratched and screwed up a lot of the paint in the engine bay, so I'm a little bit bummed out. But this new valve cover is still going to make it look a lot nicer in there. I've got a few more things left that I need to do. Get the valve cover on, get the distributor in, spark plugs, fill it with fluids and the intake, and then we can do the first fire up, and hopefully we're going to be good to go after that. Wish me luck, guys. She's all back together now. All filled with fluids. Ready for me to fire her up. Hopefully she's good. And then we can go take her for a test drive. Old Faithful lives and breathes again. She's got kind of a slight little stutter. been almost 2 years on the dot, almost. October 3rd, 2018 was the day my coupe got hit. It was the last time this motor was running. She's alive, guys. Time to take her for a test drive. It's been a couple days since I got Old Faithful fired up in the wagon, and I needed to tell you guys that I jumped the gun on assuming that my misfire issue was roped in with the bad heads gasket on the old motor. And once I got Old Faithful running, I now have a good engine in the car, but the misfires are still continuing, and it seems like it just keeps getting worse and worse. So I'm just going to have to start back off all from the beginning and start over fresh to try to figure out what's up with these misfires. So I'm going to save that one for another video. I'm going to think about for a moment all the things that I need to get, round up all my tools, and then we'll be back with another video to go over the car from front to back to try to solve the misfires once and for good, now that I got a new motor in the car. That's going to do it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your comments, all your likes, the subscribes. Keep sharing these videos. Till next time, peace out.